Hey, yo, dog. Did you hear? Gintama getting the dub. But don't tell nobody. It's a secret. It's a secret. Boy, boy, I know some fans that gonna be happier than the motherfucker. Woo! So, hey, what's up, guys? So, Anime Expo is currently going on. It started this Friday, which is what today is. And today has been full of motherfucking surprises. This won't be the only video I make about Anime Expo shit, but this will be the first. And why? Because Crunchyroll has decided to drop a motherfucking bomb. Now, when it comes to anime dubbing in America, we don't really have that many choices to pick from. I mean, NIS dubs, Aniplex dubs, Funimation dubs, Viz dubs. But a lot of them end up reusing a lot of different actors, and let's be honest, the pricing for certain series from certain companies is what I would define as being kind of bullshit. Aniplex, we're looking at you, you selfish motherfuckers! They're not really selfish, but they're just premium price motherfuckers, and no normal anime fan has that kind of goddamn money, and we're not doing that. So we're not in the most high end of dubbing quality or variation. But, interestingly enough, we found out today that Crunchyroll has decided we're going to dub some shit too. Which is very interesting to me. Not only are they going to dub it, but they're also going to release Blu-rays and DVDs. Which is very interesting to me. So I'm curious to see how this is going to go. But the most interesting thing is some of the series that they chose to dub. So let's go through them real quick. Kabanari of the Iron Fortress. Most of these are pretty fucking new. But Kabanari of the Iron Fortress, Berserk, the new series is about to start airing, which is very interesting because I thought they would give that shit to Viz, because Viz has dubbed the movies, if I remember correctly, the movies, the Golden Age movies. So I'm very interested in that. Twin Star Exorcist, one of those shows that just finished airing. Free, which I thought Funimation had the rights to, or maybe they did and they lost it. I'm not sure. I thought they had the rights to, and maybe they don't have the rights to anymore, or whatever. I'm not sure. The Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches, Big Order, Myriad Colors Phantom World. Oh, and last but not least, Gintama. Like, Gintama. Once again, a very interesting choice because technically I thought Sentai owns the rights to Gintama. At least I thought, at least for the movie in the first like few seasons. But apparently that doesn't mean a goddamn thing. I know Gintama fans are especially happy, but the problem is that since Crunchyroll's never dubbed before, we don't know where the quality is going to be. I mean, Sentai is kind of all over the place. Funimation is pretty consistent. Viz is pretty consistent. Aniplex is kind of somewhere between Funimation and Sentai. NIS is about the same level, and you know, we don't know where the quality is going to land. Now, granted, because I believe the Crunchyroll is based in like California, which I believe is where Viz is located, my assumption is that the voice actors that you would get for Crunchyroll dubs would probably be the same tier you would get for Viz dubs, which bodes relatively well. So even if, you know, shows like Berserk are not being dubbed by Viz, something tells me that they'll probably end up getting similar voice actors anyway. But I'm very interested to see how this is going to go. The fact that they're starting to dub anime is a huge fucking deal. I mean, Crunchyroll's been streaming for a while. And it's funny, the thing that Crunchyroll started out as just another illegal anime streaming site, became a legit streaming site, became a really good and probably to me the best anime streaming site, and now is going to start inserting itself in the world of English dubs and fucking and Blu-ray and DVD releases for these shows. And maybe Crunchyroll will be the kind of obscure shows that don't ever get picked up, or shows that don't ever get finished. I mean, we just found out earlier today that Funimation is finally going to pick up the rest of The Gray Man, and I think they're picking up the new series too, if I remember correctly. But I'm hoping maybe some of these shows that have gotten insanely forgotten because, you know, fuck my life. That Crunchyroll will be there to pick up those shows. Although I'm very curious to see how they're going to handle some of these shows, because Gintama's biggest issue, I'm specifically referring to Gintama, because Gintama is the one that's going to mean the most to most fandoms. Nothing against the other shows, but Gintama is a show that has gone through English dub hell in a lot of ways, because it got picked up by Sentai, was only being released sub only. They tried their hand at a dub with the movie. The dub was pretty fucking mediocre to being really damn bad, and then the show just kind of died. So the fact that Crunchyroll is willing to give Gintama another shot says a lot. I'm also curious about how they're going to handle it, because we don't know anything about how Crunchyroll English dubs, there's nothing to really base this on. Because some shows will do what fucking like what Funimation does, which is change some lines, which sometimes work to the benefit and the detriment of a show, and then sometimes you have just a straight translation, which can sound stale as fuck. And for something like Gintama that's very comedy oriented and also is very Japanese oriented, you gotta have to pick and choose how you're gonna handle that. Are you gonna be like full on Americanization, or like half and half, or are you just gonna try to stick to the Japanese? I'm also curious about money. Like how, I mean, they ain't like they're picking up one or two shows. They're picking up, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 titles. And in terms of all those 8 titles, Gintama's fucking ongoing. Everything else I think is either done or about to be done. So that's not the issue. I'm just curious to see how they're going to handle. Gintama's the one that's interesting the most. And if I had to be honest, the only 2 shows I probably would buy is Myriad Colors Phantom World, because I've already seen it in Japanese and I don't hate it, so I wouldn't mind getting it. It'd be one of those like I don't give a fuck purchases. And Gintama, just to see how they would handle a dub for Gintama, because Gintama is one of those shows I know a lot of people like, but like has never really hit a mainstream audience, and I don't know if that was because of a bad English dub. It's very centered in Japanese humor, but I'm curious to see how they handle it. And maybe we'll get an honest attempt, because people hate it. And I mean people, and I'm also curious to see how they're going to handle dubbing. Because, you know, every company kind of handles dubbing different ways. If they're trying to do it the traditional Japanese way, or having all the voice actors in the same room to have like a one long session or not. So it's a lot of excitement, a lot of buzz, and a lot of expectations, because I'm just right now I'm curious, because I don't know how Crunchyroll handles dubs. It makes things very fucking interesting, and it also gives me hope that maybe for some shows we can get dubs for it. I'm still gonna be in the back being like, "Sket dance, we can't do that, please." Oh, you don't fucking know how bad I want a Sket dance dub. I don't need it, but I want it. No, I'm lying. I need it. I fucking need it. I fucking need it. I need it. All right, sorry. Let's take a sip of this Dixon. This year is turning to be very interesting. They don't really give any times of when they're going to release anything else. They just say it's in-house stuff. So I'm curious to see how this is gonna go. And obviously, I'm pretty sure Crunchyroll will be streaming its own dub series. Although I don't know if they'll do what Aniplex does, where Aniplex will dub the shit, put it on Crunchyroll, and then release the box set. Although, and then also we don't know the pricing. But it's very exciting, because I'm happy to see someone new jump into the dubbing scene and to see where it goes. So there's not too much more to speculate on. I just wanted to report that we got a new company entering the dubbing fray, and this leads potential for a lot more interesting dubs. And we'll see also what pool of voice actors they choose from. Things are getting interesting, man. The world of anime is expanding, just like the dongs of Donkey Kong. That's the gameplay away. Peace out.